Okay, so I want to move on. Got a few more questions. Carlos Diaz, Larry Smith, whatever his name is. It's been said to me, it was said in the interview, that he's a friend of Ben's. He's a community member. He's an investor. He came to one of the first meetups, the Bitboy crypto meetups, took a picture with Ben. One day he came to the studio after Ben, you invited people to the studio. That's what made me to ultimately come out and visit you. And he got to know you and got to know people at Hit Network. He bought thousands of books. For sure. Thousands of books, invested in various different projects with you, and ultimately was trying
not with
TJ,
me. He's never
trying
invested
to help you.
He's never invested in anything with me. That's false.
Okay. So who is Carlos Diaz? How and when did he get involved?
Interestingly enough, after I've attempted to fire someone in the building, and I go to Alaska for 2 weeks, which it was only 4 days after I attempted to fire this person, Carlos enters the building for the first time while I'm in Alaska, after I tried to fire one of these people that's involved at the top. And so
that was his first time coming to the studio.
Absolutely.
That you know of?
Absolutely.
And this would have been August, September of 2022-ish?
Would have been September of 2021 or 2020. September of 2022. Yeah, September of 2022. I'm losing track. Okay. We're at the end of 2023, so it's almost 2 years ago now. But yeah, no, it's not. It's almost. We're almost 2 years removed from it. So it would have been in September of 2022. That's when he came in the building for the first time. There was a meeting between Mike Will Made It, his dad, Carlos, and Justin Williams. And that meeting took place right after I got back from Alaska. It was set up by supposedly this person randomly coming to our building for the first time while I'm gone in Alaska to meet with one of the people who I just tried to fire. And of course, tons of books were bought, right? Because when you go and look at the 33 strategies of war, what is one of the strategies when you're conducting a long con and when you're strategically going after someone? What do? You buy them gifts. So buy hundreds of my books, right? But it's weird. Every single time these books were bought, it was bought through the publisher, and I was included as a CC on the email, right? Why? Because it was not buying the books, it was the point, right? Because TJ said there were hundreds of books in the garage. Well, if you bought all these books to hand them out, why are they all in the garage? Because they were built, they were bought to butter me up. Kind of like a pair of sunglasses I was told was given to me, my gold ones. They were $15,000. These are the cheapest sunglasses you ever saw in your life. They've got some gold on them. They're probably not worth $500. And I was told they were $15,000 glasses. Gift after gift. That's how you get in with someone. That's how you get someone's trust. You come in, you get gifts. 99% of the time that this person was in the building, he was in the office of Vomo, where he got some of his people to invest $1 million in cash. I believe it was. I believe it was a check that was given. And so you can't find it on the blockchain where that money is. So there's no chain analysis that can find that cash. People can, you can't look for it. You don't know where it is. So, that's what happened. Came and brought these people, got invested in Vomo, not invested in any of my projects, not invested in anything I do. Only invested in that. And that's where it started. And when you look at the timing of this, and I would also point out, by the way, that 10 days after the first official meeting occurred between people at the top, Justin Williams and Carlos, my house was swatted. 10 days later, my house was swatted. So people can look at the intimidation. They can look at what's been done to me. They can look at the death threats, and they can read into that interesting timing however they want to read into that interesting timing.
That's the first time you mentioned that to me. Why you mentioned first time stuff, man? Yeah, because
I have all
you've shared a lot with me that you can't talk about privately, which is why I have to frame the questions in a certain manner as well.
Right.
Was Carlos an investor in Vomo?
Yes, and he had many people that invested on his behalf as well. And I was told that all those people wanted their money back. And if they wanted their money back, why was it not just given back? That's a great question, right? Like, why is that on me? I have nothing to do with Vomo. The only thing I had with Vomo is I have shares that I didn't pay for. They were given to me as equity because it was my idea in the first place. It was my idea to create an NFT platform, and then I was removed from it. There's a strategic plan to move me away from being the CEO of Vomo and to become just an investor advisor and to lower my equity. Why? Well, what I was told is I was told that if I'm the CEO, then it's a big problem and people might come after us. Which didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time, but I said, okay, that's fine. I trust these people around me. But how much sense does it make to have someone in my building the CEO if people are going to come after me that's closely associated with me? Doesn't make sense from the beginning. I was separated from Vumio to where I didn't have an official role and I didn't have majority shares, so I couldn't fire Justin. That was the plan. That was launched in June 25th of 2022. That plan was to put into action to protect them. So in August, when I tried to fire him, or I did fire him, I have a text message where I fired him on August 30th. Basically, TJ could talk me out of it by saying I don't have the power to do that. So I just am very curious, what the reasoning is. If Carlos and his people wanted their money back, as he claims that they do, then why does Justin not give him the money back? Why does Justin not give Michael Maida his money back? Why does Justin not give Michael Maid's dad his money back? Why not? The money should all be there. It's very interesting. I just don't know why they were coming after me when all the money should be in the accounts. They should have all the money for Vumio. So I'm just very curious as to why I was blamed for their Vumio investment when I have had nothing to do with it. I haven't made a single decision. I've not made one decision on Vumio. I'm removed from it. Structurally, it was set up this way. So it's just kind of a confusing thing.
Okay. Bitcoin, when you acquired Bitcoin from bin.eth, you talked about having some private investors, some people on the private side helping with acquiring and everything started. Was or is Carlos Diaz, Larry Smith, whatever his name is, was he one of those?
No,
was he an
not.
investor was he an investor in Bitcoin, in Bitcoin?
I mean, like anybody, if you're a holder of Bitcoin, you're an investor in Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm sure I know, he definitely owns Bitcoin, but
did he purchase tokens from you directly?
There were some OTC deals that were done with Carlos, very, very early on, some OTC deals, but they were OTC deals. They were paid for just like everybody else.
Was he, as far as you know, was he hired to be an employee, or was he an employee of Hit Network?
He has received money from the company. But there was always a strategic move to keep him away from the payroll, even though his son was paid. His son Sincere was paid by TJ behind my back without me knowing it. All of a sudden, he comes to me one day and says, "Hey, we're in the music business now." Why? Oh, well, I just paid Carlos' son $50,000. So for a record contract,
you got proof of the son and Carlos receiving money.
Oh yeah, all that's for sure. I mean, Tim Shedd sent it all to him.
Okay, cool. What is the deal with the Lamborghini? Before you answer that, I thought that the Lamborghini was a company car. I thought it was either in the name of Hit Network or it was duly titled between you and TJ, but it was titled only in your name.
Only in my name.
I was told that there was an agreement that you had made with Carlos to sell the Lamborghini to pay back some of the people that you owed money to, and that you were supposed to get about $50K remaining.
No. That's absolutely false. I've owed money to no one. Yeah, I owe money to no one. That was not what was said. What was said?
What's the deal with the Lambo and Carlos, and how did he get the title?
It's a great question. You'd have to ask them.
I mean, did he get the title from you?
What's that?
Did he get the title from you?
Yes, under death threat. I texted TJ and I said, I have text messages, guys. I have text message where I literally said, yeah, I mean, you know what, guys? I mean, why would I just say it when I can tell you exactly what it is? I will tell you exactly what.
Again, don't incriminate yourself. Just make sure that you're putting out what you're willing to put out.
Absolutely. What the text message says is that, do you know Carlos is making me sign over the Lamborghini now, and he's selling it for $318,000 in cash, like in 5 minutes. I don't know what's real anymore, but I'm doing it. I don't have a choice. I was under duress. I was under death threat. I was told I had to do it. I was told that it was supposed to go to pay off. Now, I didn't have a choice anyways, not that it mattered, but I was told that it went to pay off lawsuits that were in the building. Now, we know now, looking at this, there's only one lawsuit or two lawsuits now that have been filed on their behalf of the building. And these were both after this. And not only that, they were filed by Hit Network. And now we know that the car was given to Carlos because he lost money in an investment. There's a news article where TJ admitted to this, that it was given to Carlos because he lost money in investment. Guys, how many of you guys have ever gone to CZ and said, hey, I invested in Binance. I bought some coins on Binance and it's bear market. They're down right now. Can you give me some of my money back? That's not the way investing works. And once again, when everybody looks at the situation from the outside, it's very obvious that this was a lie from top to bottom. And it's very obvious I was under duress in these text messages where I'm saying that I didn't have a choice. And of course, TJ's response to that was, now remember, this was a company asset, guys. There's a company asset, supposedly, which is weird because why did I have to sign it over if it was a company asset? TJ has told everyone in the building it was a company asset. His response to that, when I told him that I just signed it over to Carlos, I didn't have a choice, I said it's gone, was, bro, I have no idea what's going on right now either. No idea what's going on with the Lamborghini. No idea. TJ had no idea Carlos was coming over to make me sign the Lamborghini over for himself. Sign the title with my signature like it's a blank check. That's what this is all about.
So,
and I can't say anything more about what's going on with Lamborghini. But what I will say is that we are right now in process. There is legal proceedings, both civilly and criminally, coming with Lamborghini.
well, as far as the title is concerned, did you have the title at your house when he came to get you to sign the title over, or did somebody give him the title?
He made me meet him at Walmart and sign it over.
Okay, so you had possession of the title. It wasn't as if somebody gave the title to him.
Oh, no. Actually, he had it. He had the title. So question, if no one knew what he was doing, because TJ clearly says he didn't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is how did he get the title? How did he get the title? If you didn't have possession of the title when the car was in only your name, then who had possession? Okay, so TJ had the title.
That TJ gave it to Carlos. Listen to the leaked audio. He says that they knew about it. And then if you listen to the call earlier in the day with TJ says that he doesn't know about it. Very strange.
Why did you decide to go to his house? You actually texted me like right before you were doing it. And I should have told you it wasn't a good idea. But I said, wow, bro. So that's all it was about. You just wanted to find your Lamborghini?
Yeah, I wanted to find Lamborghini. And there was another part of it that was, Carlos, he for a long time intimidated me and he scared me. There was some times where I was scared of Carlos, not anymore, obviously. And so the whole thing is that I basically went there to see if the Lamborghini was there. And I wanted to live stream, and that was all that it was. There was nothing more to it than that. And the Lamborghini, supposedly, according to the police officers I talked to there, it was not there, which means it's somewhere else, but the title is in his name. It was transferred to him.
Well, it was when you signed it over to him, technically, then, right?
Well, no. When you sign the title, and these are things I've learned from the Georgia Department of Revenue, because we've been in touch with them throughout this process, is that when you sign it over, just because you sign the title over, it doesn't have to be it's not transferred yet. You have to actually take it in or mail it in or whatever the process is. And then it's actually transferred. So the title had already gone through the complete transfer process when I went and filed a report on this. And it was transferred directly to Carlos.
Okay. So ultimately, you got arrested that night, and that's partially why we ended up canceling the interview we were going to do last Tuesday. Right. Knowing everything that happened,
that's actually not true. Yeah, that's actually not true. I think people look at that and it's easy to interpret. It was more some of the things that were said on the Altcoin Daily interview were the reasons why my lawyer told me that they didn't want me to talk about this anymore in the way I had been talking about it before. Okay. That was actually a reaction to that, not a reaction to the arrest. But yeah, I mean, I needed to take a break for a couple of days. I was going under some severe PTSD at the time from everything that's been done to me. And I did need to take a step back. I didn't take a 100% step back, obviously. There were some tweets. I wanted to straighten out. The Me Crypto Blood were good. I want to post a picture of my friend I saw in Kentucky and stuff like that. But there was very limited social media interaction there. I was like, I could go post something and leave. And I wasn't paying attention to Twitter at that time. But yeah, that's all that was, I was tired of being bullied and I was tired of being intimidated by these people. And I wanted to go find Lamborghini and know where it was. And so once I found out it was transferred to him, and I went to go look for it. And so, I mean, and look, people look and they say, oh, Ben was crazy. He was so erratic, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. When you're reading articles that said I was hopped up on cocaine, no drugs found in the vehicle, obviously, because there were no drugs involved and there haven't been from day one. But guys, I've always I went outside of Sam's house. I sat on top of Sam's car. I went to Sam's parents' house. I went to the lawyers in New York City. I went to Nova Wolf for Celsius. Guys, this is what I've done my entire career. I'm an investigative journalist, and I go and I go and I will live stream and I will go to someone's location to let them know that I'm not scared, I'm not intimidated, and, you know, make the content from where it needs to be made from. And that's what I did that day.
Well, do you regret it, and would you do it again?
Yeah, I do regret it. I do regret it because my adrenaline was pumping and I wasn't anticipating that. I thought I was going to go and be very calm. Or I kind of thought that maybe he was going to come out and try to fight me, like, or try to shoot me. That's what I anticipated, honestly. I thought those were probably the two most likely options. Of course, but he didn't. You know, I was just like, okay, I was kind of left with, okay, what do I do here? I certainly hope those weren't, that wasn't what was going to happen. I wanted to go and just kind of like see where the Lamborghini was and do a live stream and go on my way. And that's what I was going to do. And so for me, the reason why I wish I wouldn't have done it, obviously, is because it resulted in some complications for me going forward with this. And by complications, I just mean additional legal actions I didn't need. And plus, you know, going back to the Altcoin Daily interview, there were things that were said on that interview that, like, I didn't have to fight anymore, you know? And the only reason I'm talking now, I don't care what's going on out there with the other company. It don't matter. We're on our legal proceedings. We're on our legal game. We're moving forward with court. It doesn't matter what they throw, come hell or high water. We're moving on the process that we want to go on. But I know that people want to hear me talk and that they want to know my side of things. And I don't want to talk about it on my channel. I'm only talking crypto, but I know that's what the public wants. And, you know, I want to show people that, you know, I have, you know, turned over a new leaf on this channel. And by a new leaf, I don't mean like I was out of control on the last channel. I need to change. I just mean like I'm trying to do things a little bit differently than I was doing it before. And that's all there is to it. Trying to be a little more humble. And guys, I have been humbled through all this. I mean, when your best friends turn on you and I'll stab you in the back brutally, and then you know, get other people to be complicit in it, it hurts. It sucks. I mean, I've cried a lot over this. I've sobbed over this. I've sobbed on camera over this. And guys, people can look and they can see from the outside. They can see it's authentic. Like and it's asinine to believe that I can be as hurt as I've been. And yet what I'm trying to create some kind of giant psyop here. Like, guys, if I was truly guilty of all the things they said that I had done, why am I still fighting? Why am I still fighting? Wouldn't it be easier for me? My new channel, I'm going to make more money on this new channel than I made on the last one because I'm not paying people, right? I'm focused on myself, and I can bring in 10% of the revenue that I was bringing in the other company and make way more money than I was making at the other company because I chose to spend my money on my employees. I chose to spend my money on building something that was a cool place to work, where people could come and work every day and have a sense of accomplishment and working together towards something and working together towards goals. And I was losing money constantly. Hit Network was a failure from the very beginning. The only profitable channel we've ever had from Hit Network was Frankie. That's it. Me and Frankie. The only two things on that channel that ever brought in income. I created BitLab Academy. BitLab Academy brings in money. I created that. We had a Discord server a year and a half that was BitLab Academy. We renamed it. Then we called it the BitLab. We called it the BitLab initially, is what we called it. I created that. Almost all, you know, the majority of the people that are on Discord there, I brought them in. That was something that was taken from me and given to another person, given a percentage of, so they could run it because obviously I don't have full time to run everything. But even BitLab Academy that brings in money, that was all my idea from the very beginning. So that was actually in use before TJ ever even entered the building. Before you even entered the building, we had BitLab Academy.
Right.
Or the BitLab, as we used to call it. So Hit Network was nothing but a drain on my finances. But why did I do it? Because I don't care that much about money. I care more about the people in the building. And that's what's so sad about all this is the people that have been warped, their brains have been warped to believe that that's not true and that someone that was on your side the entire time has actually been against you. When in reality, it's quite the opposite.
And that's what's confusing is because that's what TJ's saying the same thing. And again, someone's lying. Somebody's lying when it comes down to it. So one more real question, and then we're going to wrap up with the present and future of Ben Armstrong. So when you released the 2 audio calls, you did the one release where you did them together and added the commentary, then you released them separately. I told you I've been in communication with everybody. TJ sent me the full phone call. With TJ. Why didn't you release the full recording? I was going to release the full phone call the next day, by the way, after I got arrested. I'd already said I was going to release it. There were like 3 minutes that I thought the 3 minutes that were left kind of added a little bit of a different perspective.
No, the last 3 minutes of that call were basically him pretending that the FBI is in the building. That's what it was. If you listen to that call, it was him pretending that the SEC, the IRS, and the FBI are doing some kind of investigation on me. And I knew for a fact that they weren't doing that because I knew people in the building that were telling me these people are not actually in the building. It was just some lawyers, and trying to make it sound like I'm in some kind of giant amount of trouble, which is their narrative. That's what they're trying to pretend like, is that I'm this big problem and that all of these people are in the building. I was going to have AJ release it the next day. And I was going to have AJ do a reaction and tell you the reality of what was going on in the building as these lies were being told in real time by TJ. And I just felt like it was something that for the Bitcoin community that had been so loyal and so good to me, despite everything, that it wasn't really fair to release something where TJ is making all of these false accusations and implications. And of course, at the end of the call, it doesn't give a different perspective. It doesn't give a different perspective. At the end of the call, he says,
well, he's talking about an internal investigation.
Yeah, well, yeah, an internal investigation. But is that what it sounded like on the first 3 minutes? It sounded like there were people from outside the building that were in there, correct? That was the way he made it sound. That
gave that impression.
Yes, exactly.
But there was also the inside thing too that he was also saying. So there was conflicting information.
Of course, because there's been conflicting information the entire time. So it's all a psyop on me, guys. It's a psyop to make me think that I'm in trouble. That's what they've been trying to do from the very beginning. And like there was a part of me that didn't want to dig into the truth of everything. And like go through every text message I've ever sent to these people, because people can take things out of context. But the reality is, when I actually went back and looked at all my communications with all of these individuals involved, I realized like there's not even anything in these text messages or that they can even try to take out of context. And that's when I started feeling stronger. And guys, I wanted to move to Dubai. Why? Because I had been placed in a state of paranoia for months and months and months and months, because since May, people were actively planning to overthrow me. And there were people whispering. I knew there was a weird feeling. I couldn't figure out what it was. And I guess my projection of that was, okay, like maybe there's something going on I don't know about. Like maybe, who knows? Like maybe they're working with people. It was just fake, guys. It was all fake. There was nobody ever working with anybody. This is a story of employees and a minority owner of a business that wanted to overthrow someone that they were jealous of and they didn't like, and they've been resentful for a long time. And then getting people to be complicit in that. So I think that's really the story here. And that was the only reason I didn't release those, and I was going to release it. And plus, like, I didn't feel like it was really relevant to what I was saying, but I'm not scared of those last 3 minutes. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help them.
For transparency. For transparency purposes, would either you or do you care if I release it?
I'm going to say I cannot tell you what you can or cannot do. I would say that my lawyer does not want me releasing anything.
Okay.
Going forward.
Now, if in theory I was to release it, would this cause some kind of issue between me and your relationship?
Rice, you are an independent, autonomous person, and I support your right to do whatever you feel like doing.
Okay, I'll think on that, and we'll just leave it at that. So.